Derby Revolution, the first to score. And again, these are 20-minute games all day today. And we have two groups, basically, of the leagues here. We have, how many leagues? Feels like 10 million, but they're split into two groups. So we're seeing 5 leagues skate this morning and another 5 skate this afternoon.
That's right. And whoever moves on to tomorrow is just going to skate full hour bouts.
True story.
And this is the first time we're under the new rule set, at least a couple days in now. But the biggest one we'll see, of course, is the 30-second penalties, I think, more than anything else.
Yes, the rule change that everyone loves.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how that changes. In these 20-minute games, it's 4 trips to the box is going to send you somewhere, not 7. But additionally, we'll just see how many times, if that changes penalties, people take more or less, maybe a little bit more worth it. We'll see.
And especially because also I think the cutting penalty got a little tweaked this year,
yes.
And that has an effect on penalties as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in these 20-minute games. And that was a scoreless jam right there. And it looks like Derby Revolution in the lead with 5 points. Silicon Valley still has not scored. And we have just over 18 minutes left.
Fearless and Corn Dog are going to go head-to-head in this one. Fearless is going to score the first points for SVRG.
Initials are hard.
They are. There's a lot of initials. Luckily, I usually get the RG part, but that even screws you up.
Oh, Corn Dog going down there just before turn 3. That gives Silicon Valley a chance to get lead jammer for the first time in this game.
That's right. Molly getting called for a back block there, but just enough time got in Corn Dog's way enough to help her jammer get lead. Well played.
Bako walling it up in the very front, forcing Fearless to call it off. She picks up 2 points. That puts Silicon Valley on the board. 5-2 in favor of Bako. Oh, by the way, I'm Tara Armoff.
And I'm Coors Lightyear.
Welcome, everyone, in Internet land.
For the first of about 4,800 bouts, I think I counted on the thing. It's going to be action-packed.
4,801, probably, for today.
It's going to be a great weekend of Derby. The 20 minutes are good, though. I like the pace of Saturday. I mean, the players and the skaters might feel differently sometimes, but especially for those teams that start out a lot slower than others, so the second-half teams aren't going to appreciate it.
Adrenaline Crush out and lead jammer for Silicon Valley.
DRB's jammer getting forced out that back straightaway. She'll re-enter and try it again, but Silicon Valley scoring points.
That's right. This is Silicon Valley's B team, by the way, skating this weekend. Last weekend in Bako was the Dust Bowl, and Silicon Valley's A team was there and won all the things, from what I hear. They won the championship.
That's right. Adrenaline Crush getting all 5. A cut track being called on the pivot for Silicon Valley.
That is number 22, Mad Eye Molly, on her way to the notorious RED penalty box. We have ourselves a lead change, by the way. Silicon Valley has taken the lead. And they also have lead jammer for this jam. It's so convenient.
Calls off grips 4 there at the end, so they're going to continue that lead change, extend their lead a little bit more to, 11?
11-5 with 15 and a half minutes left in this game.
That'll be the last bit of math I'll probably do, because once we get over 15, it gets squirrely.
Yeah, I did not join Derby to do math.
No, ma'am.
Looks like Alicia Moore on the jammer line for Silicon Valley. And I want to say...
Smash and crash him out there for DRB.
And she's out in lead jammer for Bako. Again, Silicon Valley in the black, Bako in the red. Oh, here, see a multiplayer block being called on Buggy Smalls for Bako, sitting in the penalty box.
Also, with a little bit of rule clarification, multiplayers was also clarified as well in the current rule set about what counts, what doesn't, just better clarification of the rules.
True story.
Yeah.
And it looks like that was a scoreless jam. The score still stands 11-5 in favor of Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley making quick work of that pack, getting out before turn 1.
DRB's Jammer is out free from the pack, about a half track behind, but Corn Dog's got some wheels on her.
See if Fearless is able to pick up the speed and pick up some points. I hear that the floor every year, Battle for the Coast, always has there's always a varying degree of slip, and I hear this year it is very slippery, slidey.
Yeah, in previous years we've seen it go from pretty normal-ish in the beginning, and then just as the track wears on throughout the day, it gets slipperier. But I think we're just starting out with slippery, so.
Yeah, we're getting quick to the Bambi on ice effect, apparently, this year.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many in this first bout so far of anybody hitting the deck randomly. So,
I also see a lot of grippy wheels out there.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a lot of those lower wheels.
BOUT still at 5 points. Silicon Valley 14. Just over 13 minutes left in the game. And also in these shorter games, each team has one timeout, I do believe, and one official challenge at their disposal.
That's right. Nacho Taco jumping back in, avoiding a track cut, firing around the outside. She's going to be your lead jammer.
Adrenaline Crush getting caught on that inside line for Silicon Valley, still in the pack.
DRB hosted Dust Bowl not too long ago. And it's about the same lineup that was at Dust Bowl, so that's a good tournament warm-up for this one for them. Of course, Silicon Valley at that tournament as well, but a different lineup.
Looks like BOUT got through for 5 points. Coming in for another scoring pass as Adrenaline Crush finally makes it out of the pack for Silicon Valley.
Looks like Silicon Valley consistently with about one blocker in the penalty box, so we'll see if that makes a difference. Right now they're holding on still with the lead, about that 4-point lead, which they've had now for a few jams. But we'll see if that matters as we continue.
Well, especially now that it's only a 2-point lead, because BOUT did pick up some points in that jam. BOUT has 12, Silicon Valley 14, with just under 12 minutes left in the game.
And again, with these 20-minute games, it doesn't take much. It's just really, it's the small things that matter. So.
Oh, nice hitting right off the line. Silicon Valley trying to stop BOUT's jammer from getting out. However, the pack's getting strung out there between turns 1 and 2. Last line of defense for Silicon Valley, not able to stop Corn Dog. Corn Dog having to reset. Oh, she decides, nah, screw it. I'm just going to call it off. Take that.
Yeah, she tried to dance that line and just lost her balance at the end.
Again, I think the floor slipperiness kind of came into play there. She's like, whoa, screw this.
And don't forget, we're really close to the ocean, so we got that ocean breeze that just might have pushed her off a little bit. So there could be worse places to have a tournament.
Oh, yeah. It's so horrible to have the ocean right there, a wonderful view.
Mm-hmm.
Derby's terrible.
Yeah. Fearless out there again with Corn Dog. Fearless trying to get that three wall in the front. Same thing in the back for Corn Dog, but she's got all 4.
Oh, got a multiplayer block called on 666. That's Buggy Smalls for BOUT on her way to the notorious RED penalty box, and quickly followed by number 33, Twisted Hippie for BOUT. So that puts BOUT at a definite disadvantage within the pack with only 2 blockers on the track.
Seen a few multiplayer calls. We'll see how the teams are going to adjust to that throughout the tournament. If that's something that's been clarified that the refs have their eyes on more than normal.
I have been noticing in local flat track play here in Southern California, the multiplayer block call has been called a lot with this new rule set.
Yep.
Everyone just wants to get cozy, that's all, and the refs don't like it.
It's not. Yeah. Stop being mean. They just want to hold hands.
Silicon Valley holding on to their lead 17-12 against BOUT. 9 minutes, 40 seconds left in this first game.
Yeah, haven't seen a lot of laps around the track either. There's been a couple points and out, and fairly low scoring really for the first 10 minutes of play.
And also with the 30-second penalties, I think that has something to do with it as well. So even if a team is at a disadvantage in the pack, it's not too long. It's just long enough, apparently.
Yeah, and I think that's what they wanted. You know, WFTDA membership voted to have more skaters on the track more often. So I think, you know, so far it's looking that it's working toward that advantage of keeping, you know, less lanes open, more, you know, high-scoring jammers rolling through different times. So
good call, WFTDA. Good call. Silicon Valley still holding on to their lead, 18-13 over BOUT01. Just under 9 minutes left in the game. Oh, look at that. Oh, my gosh. You see that? BOUT01 is heading towards that mysterious pivot line, which we've heard so much about, but we rarely ever see used.
surprised they put it down on the track when they lay the track out anymore.
It is amazing, isn't it? Silicon Valley out and lead jammer. I think that is Skolina. And it looks like Derby Revolution of BOUT01 has another blocker going to the penalty box. That is recent transfer I.M. McShovin. Now, she started with BOUT01, transferred to SFV, which is San Fernando Valley, and she has just recently transferred back to BOUT01. She's a well-traveled woman.
She's a worldly skater. Well, McShovin, if you've skated roller derby in the Southern California area, you've known McShovin for a long time. So I think she just wants to skate where it best fits her. So she's usually well liked amongst all the leagues she joins.
She's kind of awesome.
Yeah, she is McShovin.
Silicon Valley widening their lead just a little bit, 22-16 over BOUT01. 7 minutes 40 seconds left in the game, and BOUT01 out and lead jammer.
Nacho Taco doing a good job getting lead. Well, they had two blockers in the box, so a little bit advantage towards Silicon Valley in the pack. But Nacho Taco able to take advantage of that. And you're right; it's really funny seeing the blockers stand right back up. It seems.
And there is quite the revolving door on the BOUT01 penalty box over there.
Yeah, they had a 3-pack in there, standing room only for a moment. So out there all by herself, Desi Von drop you, holding down the fort. Always the loneliest time in the world for a roller derby skater.
It's like, please, make this quick. Oh, looks like we got ourselves a little timeout. I didn't catch if this was a team timeout. Looks like a team challenge of some sort, because I see the refs going off and talking.
Yeah, it definitely has the elements of a challenge. You have captain and alternate standing patiently, as patient as possible, at the edge of the track, or maybe just a score clarification or something, as the officials went over and checked with the scorekeepers.
And right now the score does say Silicon Valley 25, Derby Revolution of Bakersfield 18.
That's right. All of a sudden, down only 7 minutes to go in the whole bout. Time flies in these 20-minute bouts.
The Silicon Valley Kilobytes are ranked seeded number 4 for starting out today, and looks like Derby Revolution of BOUT01 is seeded at 10. So apparently not an unexpected score based on the seeding.
No, but credit to DRB hanging in there. They're well within striking distance, although Adrenaline Crush with the lead here.
Yeah, she might have something to say about that. Corn Dog making it out of the pack for Bakersfield. But Adrenaline Crush getting by on that inside, scoring 4 points, it looks like. Yes, 4 points for Silicon Valley. That lengthens their lead to 29-18 over BOUT01.
Yeah, it was good work in that last jam by the Silicon Valley blockers, clearing some way for their jammers to get through and stopping DRB from speeding up the pack to try to run away and give their jammer time to get there.
A little jammer-on-jammer action right there on the front line, and this is something we've seen Silicon Valley do a couple of times so far in this game. And using it to good advantage. Trying to get, oh, look at that. Nacho Taco out and lead jammer for BOUT01.
That's right. Great work by McShovin. Just getting in away just long enough for Nacho to get through, but 51-50. Unleasha Moore doing a good job catching up to Nacho before she can get back to the pack. Nacho decided not to take the risk at this point in the game.
That's right. Even though BOUT is behind, it's always a good idea to prevent the other team from scoring, even if you're in the lead.
A lot of times 0-0 is the best outcome in a jam.
Just over 5 minutes left in the game. Silicon Valley at 29. Derby Revolution of Bakersfield, 18. Little shorty jamming for BOUT.
Fearless out there in front for Silicon Valley. She's got one to beat. Desi gets too far out in front. She's got to let her go. So lead jam for Silicon Valley.
Shorty still caught up in the pack for BOUT. Taking a shirt whip off of her own teammate to get out of the pack. Oh, nice hit by Smash 'em, Crash 'em there, forcing the call off from Silicon Valley. It's Fearless.
A little knock 'em, sock 'em roller derby.
How about that? Hitting and roller derby? Who knew?
It must be part of the new rule set.
Silicon Valley kilobytes at 31. BOUT at 18. 4 minutes, 10 seconds left in this game.
So DRB into a regular jammer rotation. So we see Nacho back out here. They've been rolling two of them back and forth for the most part.
Adrenaline Crush getting out and lead. Going on the defense.
Adrenaline Crush doing the right thing, kind of kill some time a little bit, play with the jammer.
That's right. She wants to eat the clock. Nacho Taco says, yeah, fine, whatever. Oh, Adrenaline Rush. Well, that was a nice delayed reaction takedown.
It almost worked. Credit to Nacho to try to scoop by. If she had stayed on her feet, this would be a little different story for the rest of this jam.
Now, this is interesting to see the two BOUT blockers coming up like that on the jammers. And there was one BOUT blocker left with the Silicon Valley blockers. So I don't know what the strategy would be at that point. I guess trying to get around in front of the jammers as they hit the pack. I assume that's what that was about.
Yeah, they were definitely playing into Silicon Valley's hands there, who certainly wanted to run the clock out and did a really good job of it, that jam.
Silicon Valley score 31. BOUT still at 18. 3 minutes, 2 seconds left.
Official timeout. We are in.
And now we are out of the official timeout. Looks like Corn Dog back on the jammer line for BOUT.
It's Unleasha Moore back out there for Silicon Valley.
Alicia Moore taking that outside line, getting out and getting lead for Silicon Valley in the black.
Yeah. Corn Dog followed her right through there. Sometimes your best blocker to follow is the opposing jammer, as our team leaves a hole too long.
I know Silicon Valley was trying to grab one of the BOUT blockers, trying to slow that pack down in the form of getting a goat. However, Silicon Valley's like, no.
Right now, it looks like they just need to run it, and DRB is going to follow. So they're, like, once again, playing into that strategy of the clock.
Nom, 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 eating up the clock. Score stays 31-18 in favor of Silicon Valley over BOUT. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in this game. Fearless back on the jammer line for Silicon Valley, trying to squeak by on that inside line, getting by number 33, Twisted Hippie, to get out and be lead jammer for Silicon Valley.
Yep, Silicon Valley doing a good job keeping Smash 'em, Crash 'em in the back of the pack.
I like the strategy of using Smash 'em as a jammer for BOUT, because she was killing it as a blocker, and it's always fun to see the blockers get out and jam. And she's taking Silicon Valley's hit. She does make it out of the pack. Of course, she's not lead jammer, and she's only gotten out on her initial pass, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, if it goes how it was before with Silicon Valley, she's going to try to keep her out there and dance with her as long as she can around the track. Legs get tied up a little bit around that second turn. I think that's a good no call by the refs. Sometimes you get donkey kicked.
Oops. Baco trying to rush that pack as fast as possible. Silicon Valley trying to slow it down. But again, the greatest majority of skaters from both teams, that's the pack. And it looks like it's kind of up front.
Yeah, in this particular case, they both want the same thing. DRB wants to speed the pack to avoid points being scored, and Silicon Valley wants to speed the pack to run the clock down. So it's for a moment, their strategies are in sync.
To opposite effect. It's fascinating.
It's always interesting to figure out how much points are worth in certain situations. Do you take the 4 really quick to get your jammer to catch up to make her call it, or do you eat another 45 seconds to a minute off the clock?
Fearless has gotten through the pack. She has scored 5 points. She did lap Baco's jammer of smash 'em, crash 'em.
Yeah, and I don't want to say it's over because something crazy can happen here.
Now the score is 40-18 in favor of Silicon Valley. We have time for one more jam. There are 11 seconds left on the time clock.
Timeout going to Silicon Valley.
Smart thing to do. They want to get that last jam in. Now, the point differentials could come into play, so these teams want to get the biggest score that they can. Because if all the teams, if they win like the same number of games, it does go to point differentials as to who moves on to the full-length games tomorrow.
Which is good for a lot of these teams that are with the sanctioned charter teams. That same strategy is employed in sanctioned games as well. So
that's right. It's interesting that this weekend is not WFTDA sanctioned because we have 2 bank track leagues participating this weekend in the form of the Derby Dolls, both from Los Angeles and San Diego. So sorry, WFTDA sanctioning.
And you know the San Diego Wildfires have skated in battle since the beginning.
That's right. They have been to every battle for the coast, which is pretty awesome.
And the Riots certainly with success out of the previous 2 battles champions, so they're going for a 3-peat this weekend.
That's right. They are the only team to have back-to-back championships here at Battle for the Coast. So yes, they're going to defend that this year.
Trying to pull a Chicago Bulls in the 90s, right? Going for that wonderful battle oar, which I know you all can't see here, but it's a lovely natural colored oar with excellent rope tied around the handle so you don't lose track of it. And
it's hand painted every year, which is really cool. All right, we're down to last jam. And it looks like Skolina, she was called lead jammer for Silicon Valley, even though she was the second out of the pack. She called it off just as the period clock ran out. So the unofficial final, Silicon